Today's date is July 14th, 2025. As you can see here, I found ticker symbol SDST, standing for Stardust Power. So that's a stock that I decided to trade today. If you look at my Webull pre-market scanner, you can see here that it had the highest volume pre-market, hence why I chose to trade it. And it was also under $1. I usually look for penny stocks or small cap stocks since I'm starting to trade with a $100 account. Here's a stock. You can see the after hours from the previous day, and then you can see the pre-market movement today, July 14th. So usually what I do is I right away start to highlight with a blue line. As you can see, there's 3 blue lines on my screen. These 3 blue lines represent my buying point where I would ultimately buy into the play. So you can look into the first one I always highlight is what I like to call as the first spike. So the first spike is basically when the stock started moving when there was suddenly increased volume or volatility. As you can see here, the previous trading day, which would have been Friday last week, it had a sudden spike in the after hours. So I always like to mark that point, the top of it, because in some stocks you can find that after a few trading days, the stock might come back to that price and there's picked up volume again. It may bounce off that and run up again. So I like to keep an eye out for that for future plays. So there you have it. I highlighted in blue the 0.3 cents, I guess. And then the next one I like to highlight is I look for the pre-market trading pattern. And you can see I highlighted the next one as 0.4. Usually just whole numbers as the market seems to like whole number values. 0.4 because if you look at the after hours of the previous day, the price was kind of hovering. It was like a battle between buyers and sellers around that point. And then if you look into the pre-market, you can see that the price dropped down, almost like a cup and handle pretty much. And then you can see around 4:20 a.m. in the morning, there was a little back and forth there. Then it went down. It came back up to the 0.4. And then it almost came up to the 0.4 again around 7 a.m. And eventually a lot of activity around the 0.4 around 8 a.m. Lots of back and forth between buyers and sellers. Eventually it broke off and came to a high of 0.7. So I left that as highlighted. And then I also marked a blue line at 0.5, which I believe is a popular number. The 0.5 was in the previous trading day after hours. That was the highest peak. As you can see, there's 2 double tops or double points from the previous trading day. So I highlighted that as well as a potential buy area. So as you can see in my account, I started with I had $100 USD cash. After today's trading day, I made around $4, as I'll show you. Here's my trade summary. I took 2 trades. I always aim to take 2 trades maximum. That's my risk management. I look for a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio, 3-to-1. So I'm willing to risk 2% of my trading account for 6% gain. And that's what happened today, luckily. So, and with a little bit of strategy. All right, so the market opened, a lot of back and forth. What I usually wait for is a landing point for the price to dip, and then it runs up a bit, and then it comes back to the same point where it dipped, and that's when I usually prefer to buy in. So if you look, the price dipped to around almost 0.45 cents or $0.45, whatever method you prefer to call it, and then it ran up to 54, came back down to around 47 where the orange line is. The orange line would represent my stop loss if I were to buy at the 50, so I'm looking to risk 0.03. The yellow line represents the profit target, 0.59, sorry. But I rounded it up to 0.6 because the market, it likes round numbers usually. Anyways, so not perfect, but the price came back down, and I put in a buy order for 0.5 at 9:48 a.m. That's indicated by the blue circle there. Unfortunately, the market makers, they filled me in at a price I didn't want. So that does happen, unfortunately. So they filled me in at basically 0.52, which put my stop loss at about 3 cents under that. So it would have been 0.49, and my stop loss was hit. I do not set an automated stop loss. I do it all mentally. So I do keep watch of the charts while I go on about my day. So yeah, my stop loss was hit. I sold at 9.51. I sold for at 0.4980 at a loss of $2 roughly. All right, and then I can take one more trade. That's just my rules. 2 rules, whether it's a win or a loss, and I leave it for the day. Anything more, I've blown up accounts in the past. But no more. I'm trying a new approach, trying to be disciplined, sticking to my strategy. All right, and then you can see I took my second one. Thankfully, it worked out in my favor. I got the fill at the fill that I wanted. So the price ran up, and then it came back down below the 0.5. I've seen these plays many times before. You can see that there's a bunch of higher lows before, so that means that buyers are winning in general. So I took the risk. I set a buy price for 0.5 of 66 shares. So that's what the 66 number is. That's how many shares I would need to reach my profit target and also my stop loss with a $100 USD trading account. 66 shares. So I bought in at 10:26 a.m. at set it for 0.5, and I got roughly filled at around 0.49. It wasn't perfect, but yeah, it was around that price. So I got in at a good moment, and took about almost 30 minutes for the price to suddenly run up to 0.60. That's where I ended. I just sold it there 3 times my profit, and I profited around $6 there for an average or net price of, $4.16. So my profit today was $4.16. Now, sometimes, every trader is different, but sometimes the price might run up further than 0.60. Sometimes it doesn't even reach it, and I know a lot of traders, they use a trailing stop. That's fine. Not my style. I've tried it in the past. I won't be trying to use it anytime soon. I just want to control my mind mentally. So yeah, even though the price might run up further, I don't care. I'm aiming for a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 times profit, and that's it. I'm out. So luckily this play went a little bit higher, went to 0.62, but 0.6 was fine for me to cover a little bit of that trading commission. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you will learn something. Till next time.